I'll tell you one person who's not getting a pardon this Christmas. That's Alexander Smirnov. Got new reporting that he, who lied about the Biden family and Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, claiming that he had firsthand knowledge that they got $5 million in bribes, he's looking at 48 to 72 months. I'm Michael Popok. You're on the Legal AF YouTube channel. Let's talk about Alexander Smirnov. I brought this up about 6 or 7 months ago. Where he was at one time, an FBI informant. He was working with all people of the special counsel prosecuting Hunter Biden, who wanted to get to the bottom of this issue. And it turns out that Alexander Smirnov was lying all the time. There were other FBI informants that told the special counsel that the guy was untrustworthy, a liar. This guy's living in Las Vegas at the time, and that he was making it up. In fact, his story had changed over time. Now, why did Smirnov want to put himself in the middle of this jackpot? Well, MAGA and the House Oversight Committee and Judiciary Committee may have something to do with it. Because as soon as this guy went public with his story about the $5 million bribe that he knew that the Biden, quote unquote, crime family had accepted, Jim Comer and Jim Jordan and the MAGA ran with it, right? To try to tear down and undermine and pin back and defame Joe Biden and his family. That's how we got the term the Biden crime family. Then they used it as an excuse to investigate Joe Biden's brother and his sister-in-law and his children and all the money flow within the family, and go and get personal bank records for all these people, ordinary Americans, and drag them into a congressional hearing, all for the purposes of running a charade to allow Donald Trump to try to win an election. That's all it was. It was just a way to undermine and defame and shrink the character and attack the character of Joe Biden while he was in office at a time when he was still running for re-election. But now the Justice Department has continued to do its job, including the special counsel, Mr. Weiss, who just took a plea from Smirnov after he was caught and he was dead to rights and he knew it. And now under this plea deal for tax fraud and for making a false statement to the FBI, it's a 1001 charge, we like to call it, Mr. Smirnov is going to go away for between 48 to 72 months. Hunter Biden's not going away at all because he got a 10-year pardon courtesy of his father. And really nobody else in the Biden family is going away either, even if Kash Patel is running the FBI or Pam Bondi's running the Department of Justice. There's no there. I like to remind people that Joe Biden has been in the public eye for 50 years. Public eye, fully vetted, ran every 6 years for vice president, ran every 4 years for president. The media, the press, investigative reporting had plenty of time to look at every aspect of Joe Biden's life and career in a proctologist style. Always came up with nothing because there isn't anything. It takes lies, false informants, people cooperating with MAGA. There's a great incentive there, right? To try to curry favor with Donald Trump. Throw him a bone, a $5 million bribe. But now justice is being done. And that's one of the things I've been reporting lately, is that in this interstitial moment between the election and the next president coming in this lame duck period, whether it's for the 118th Congress or it's for Joe Biden, they're still doing their jobs. They're still prosecuting crime. They're still filing enforcement actions. Joe Biden is working round the clock to not only get judges put into place that he's appointed, but also to try to secure his legacy by looking at the legislation and looking at executive orders that he can still pass, making it that much more difficult for Donald Trump to dismantle the Biden legacy. They're working on that right now. They're working on ways to trip up Donald Trump so he doesn't have an easy path to all of the incredibly unpatriotic and unconstitutional things that he's contemplating upon his arrival. And the Department of Justice is doing their job. This is an offshoot of the, ironically, the Smirnov plea deal that's going to get him, probably 5 years in jail is a spinoff of the Hunter Biden investigation. But the Department of Justice is still doing its job. It's bringing down neo-Nazis. It's bringing down people that are against voting rights, against abortion rights. still filing their cases right up until the bitter end. All the Securities and Exchange Commission and other enforcement bureaus are doing the same thing for Joe Biden as Joe Biden spends his waning days looking over clemency lists and pardon lists, making that ultimate decision about whether he's going to blanket pardon anyone at all. And that's all a good thing. Look, come 2025, Legal AF, we're going to be chock full of information, stories, commentary, and analysis at the intersection about the new cases that are going to be filed against the Trump administration. I mean, we're going to see an administration on a daily basis that's going to lurch from one constitutional crisis to another and put this country into constitutional crisis as Donald Trump continues to test the separation of powers, what a president is allowed to do, what Congress is supposed to do, and what the United States Supreme Court is ultimately going to have to rule. That's going to be on a daily basis. He realizes now, and his handlers have told him, Donald Trump, that the 119th Congress is going to have a lot of difficulties getting law passed. Just the reality. I think the lead in the House with the people that Donald Trump has picked to pull out of the House to go into his administration is a narrow 1 or 2 seats. And they're not going to be able to get anything done without Democratic support. You might as well call Hakeem Jeffries Speaker of the House. And so while they're all tied up, much like the 118th do-nothing Congress, it becomes the 119th do-nothing Congress by extension, then you have the executive orders that Donald Trump is going to pass, because he's already made the decision that he can't get anything passed in Congress. He's going to have to do it by executive order. But that always opens the door that the executive orders are unconstitutional, that they are illegal, that they don't comply with the law, that it's too much power to the president, that he's co-opted power that has been delegated only to the Congress or to the states, or are unconstitutional because it violates basic constitutional premises. And that's where we act. There are over 1,000 cases filed in the first Trump administration. There'll be 1,000 more, double that number, in the new administration. Wait till suits can start to be filed against confirmed cabinet members for their ethical entanglements, for their conflict of interest that haven't been resolved, for the violation of the emoluments clause, lining their pockets with dollars because they're in their positions of power, and the like. And we'll follow it right here. We invite you to subscribe. Help us continue to build this pro-democracy channel as we move into, unfortunately, the new Trump administration. I'll be here for it. Hopefully you will be too. I'm Michael Popok. Until my next Legal AF. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.